We at Avenza are excited to introduce you to the new version of the Create Knockouts tool available in MAPublisher 11.4. Create Knockouts is a tool that allows you to mask off parts of features that may be covered by things such as text or points. The aim of this tool is to increase the visibility and readability of certain features of your map. This is usually done in places where things overlap or look cluttered. The previous version of the Create Knockouts tool only consisted of a single dialog box. This had the limitation of allowing knockouts to be created around only a single text or point layer at a time, meaning that multiple iterations of the tool had to be run to create knockouts for several different layers. This also meant that correcting mistakes or modifying existing knockouts required the tool to be run again, which could be frustrating or time-consuming. I'm going to show you how the reworked version of the Create Knockouts tool eases the process of creating knockouts. Here I have a map that I want to make more readable by using the Create Knockouts tool. I'm going to start with the contour labels, which are somewhat obscured by their intersection with the contour lines. The Create Knockouts tool is still accessible from its usual location in the Labels section of the Map toolbar. The new version of the Create Knockouts tool features an improved tool architecture which introduces knockout settings stored as jobs and rules. Jobs and rules allow knockouts to be created simultaneously for multiple layers. The tool shows a list detailing the jobs included in my document. Currently, I don't have any jobs, so I want to create one by clicking the green Add Job button. A job defines which layers are being masked and consists of one or more rules that will be used to form the knockouts. This Edit Job dialog box allows me to specify the settings of my job. To specify a knockout layer, I can click on the Specify Layers hyperlink and specify all of the layers I want to mask over. In this case, it will simply be the contour lines. I will keep the opacity at 100% and name the job Contour Lines Job. Now I need at least one rule for my job. To create a rule, I can click on the green Add Rule button. A rule defines the overall appearance of my knockouts and which layers the knockouts will be formed around. The Edit Rule dialog box allows me to specify the settings of my rule. I can click on the Specify Layers hyperlink to select all of the layers I want to create knockouts around, which in this case is only the contour labels. One thing to note here is that if I wish to, I can select more than one layer. The previous version of Create Knockouts would have required me to run the tool separately for each layer selected in this box. Now I want to use the rule to define the appearance of my knockouts. I will select the method of knockout boxes, and then set a buffer of 1.5 pixels. I will give our rule the name of Contour Labels. I can click OK, and you can see that the rule is automatically applied to the current job. Since I now have all the components I need to create knockouts, I can click OK. And now I can select my job and run it to create knockouts. I just simply need to click the Run Selected Jobs button. And there we go. So that was one way to use knockouts. Another way to use them is to make other features stand out more. For example, the labels on this map for the campsites kind of blend in with the background of the map, which makes them difficult to read. I can use knockouts to make them more readable. I want to access the Create Knockouts tool again and create another job. I want this job to mask over multiple layers, so I will select those here, which is basically all of my visible area, line, and image layers. So I can just click on all of these and then select this button at the bottom, which will automatically select everything. I will name this job Campsites Job. I will be applying these knockouts around two different layers, the campsite symbols and their corresponding labels, so I will create two new rules for this job. My first rule will be a symbol-shaped knockout around the campsite symbols. And my second rule will be a text-shaped knockout around the campsite labels. And once again, I am ready to run my job. Alright, so this is pretty good, but as you can see, this last job was not applied to my contour line, so I just need to go back into the tool, open up my contour lines job, and apply these rules to this one as well, and then run the job again. And there we go. I'm not really satisfied with the outcome of the knockouts on the campsite symbols, so I'm going to modify them slightly. So if I zoom in, I can see that there's not really a lot of definition on this one, so I can open the Create Knockouts tool again to easily make edits to my knockouts by modifying my jobs and rules. In this case, I need to modify the rule for my campsite symbols, and I'm just going to change the buffer size, add some more detail, and see if this looks better. So again, I'll run my selected job. Oh, that's much better. The introduction of jobs and rules to the Create Knockouts tool makes it much easier for me to create multiple batches of knockouts at once while also allowing me to save their settings. This is very convenient if I come back later and wish to make adjustments to my knockouts throughout the creation of my map. For example, if I decide to change the font of my labels, I can easily reopen the Create Knockouts tool and simply run the selected job again to adjust the knockouts. So if I select all of my campsite labels and just pick a font that's very different, like so, you can see that it doesn't really match up. So if I go back into the tool and I just select the jobs, don't have to do anything else, and run them again, there we go, it automatically adjusts the label knockouts. Another thing to note is that jobs and rules can be transferred to your other map documents by using the Copy Map Objects tool. I hope this demonstration was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.